Yes, so I think we are connected now on YouTube.
Yes, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Swati Mataji, are you there?
Yes, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So Mataji, this if you want to broadcast this
Yeah.
for 1080 pixels, this is only showing 720 pixels on YouTube. So how do we change
Change what, Prabhuji?
the pixel, the quality of the video? Is it possible to change?
Oh, I have no idea about this, Prabhuji, about the pixels.
Okay. Okay, so what I've done, I've enabled HD.
Okay.
So let's see, maybe that may change the quality. I will also share the link of YouTube. Maybe one of you can check on YouTube what is the quality it is showing. Yeah, I've shared the link. Okay, so let's start with Kirtan. Rajiv Prabhu, you would like to do the Kirtan?
As you say, Prabhuji, आपको lead करना है तो we will do chorus, or if you say I will lead, no problem.
No, you can lead and I will follow.
Okay. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine.
Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimade Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine.
Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine.
Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine.
Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhaktavrinda.
Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhaktavrinda.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama Rama Rama
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama 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 Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama,
Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Jai Radha Gopinath Radha Gopinath Radhe.
Radha Gopinath, Radha Gopinath, Radhe.
Jai Radha Ras Bihari Radha Ras Bihari Radhe.
Jaya Radha Rasbihari Rama, Rasbihari Radhe.
Jai Radha Giridhari Radha Giridhari Radhe.
Jaya Rama Giridhari Radha Giridhari Radhe.
Jai Jagannath, Jai Jagannath, Jai Baladeva, Jai Subhadra.
Jaya Jagannath, Jaya Jagannath, Jaya Baladeva, Jaya Subhadra.
Jai Gauranitai, 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 Jai Gauranitai.
Jaya Dharani Bhai, Dharani Bhai, Dharani Bhai, Jaya Dharani Bhai.
Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol.
Jai Gaur Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Jai Gaur Hari Bol.
Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada.
Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada.
Jaya Premanande Hari Hari Bol.
Hari Hari Bol. Thank you for the blissful kirtan.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Dandot Ram.
Okay. So before starting, wish you all a very happy Srila Prabhupada Appearance Day. Extremely auspicious day today. It's one of the bestest day in this year, and we have chosen to speak on Janmashtami because we have been sharing Prabhupada Leelas every weekend since last almost 3 to 4 months now, and we'll be doing the Vyas Puja offerings to Srila Prabhupada on coming Sunday, 16th. So Krishna is unlimited. He can appear on unlimited number of days. So whenever devotees get together and when cry out to Krishna and we pray to Krishna to appear, that particular day Krishna appears. So Krishna can actually appear every day, every single day on the devotees' desire and intense longing to see the Lord. Okay, so before we start, I just wanted to confirm, are you able to hear me? Okay, I don't think so that someone is not able to hear me. Otherwise, they would have mentioned. Okay. Om Mirandasya Jnananjala Sharakaya Chakshum Militam Tasmai Shri Guruve Namah Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam Tapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Tadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Uddhav Shri Gurum Vaishnavam Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanutamscha Hindu Jagatpade Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namaste Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vishvanu Sute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Vaevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Nama Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Iti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauramani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunyamadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare. Okay, thank you all the devotees for joining tonight. Um, so we'll be discussing about the pastimes of Lord Krishna, which also includes this mystical appearance of Lord Krishna, and then who is Lord Krishna Tattva, and then we'll also be discussing about uh, left Vraj and he went to Mathura and Dwarka, and then also the mysterious uh, way Uddhav visited Vrindavan, and then we're also going to discuss whether Krishna returned after moving to Mathura and Dwarka. So these are, and if time permits, then we'll also do the demons in Vrija. Okay. So Lord Krishna is said to be the supreme personality of Godhead. This actually word is very uncommon. In fact, this is something that Prabhupada has translated the meaning of Bhagwan as supreme personality of Godhead, but it has a lot of deep meaning also, and it has a lot also, because when we talk about the absolute truth, we speak about the absolute truth as being personal or impersonal. So here, the absolute truth is actually that ultimately the absolute truth is finally personal. This is what Krishna also mentions in the Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna, when Arjuna is asking question to Krishna that amongst the impersonal aspect and the personal aspect, which is superior. So then Krishna replies, form is actually superior to the impersonal form. And so the meaning of the word supreme personality of Godhead. So supreme, obviously everyone can understand that some entity is supreme to other entities. Okay. And then personality means that the absolute person. And Godhead is specifically mentioned here because in our Vedic culture, in our Vedic literature, we see that there are gods, right? So many of them. And then who is the supreme amongst these gods? So then obviously the answer is that Krishna is the supreme personality. So he's the head of all these gods. And obviously there are reasons for that. And one of the reasons is that according to the definition of Bhagwan, Bhaga and one. So it is divided into two parts in Sanskrit. So basically it means one who is the possessor of all opulences. Okay. So there are 6 major opulences or primary opulences or dominant opulences, and Krishna is unlimitedly is infinite in all these 6 opulences, whereas other forms of God like Shiva, Brahma, Chandra, Vayu, so many others, or whether it is goddess also. So they also possess these 6 qualities, but not to the degree to the quantity that Krishna possesses. Okay, and that's why Krishna is actually the supreme personality of Godhead of all these gods, and this is repeatedly confirmed in the Shastra also. So now there are 2 ways to understand this concept. One is Shastra, and then one is through the eyes of the Acharyas. So through the Shastra, uh, Jeev Goswami, who is one of the Goswamis of Vrindavan, very, very prominent scholarly personality in the entire Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya, and not only just Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya, but throughout the entire, throughout the 4 other Vaishnava Sampradayas also, he is the greatest scholars. Okay, and he has very thoroughly established the fact that Srimad Bhagavatam is the ultimate authority on all these scriptures, because there are so many scriptures, there's so many shastras, and there's a confusion, or there is sometimes a misunderstanding between the Shruti and Smriti, and someone will say that, or especially the Mayavadis or the followers of the Vedas, they will claim that Shruti is superior to the Smriti because it was spoken by the Lord. So Shruti is something which is heard, and Smriti is something which is remembered. Okay. So because Shruti is the scripture which is directly heard by the Lord, and it happened before the creation. For example, Krishna spoke the knowledge to Brahma. So that means the knowledge was transmitted to Brahma. Brahma heard it from Lord Krishna, but there was no creation. Okay, and Smriti refers to that which is remembered. So when there is creation, when Brahma creates, after that there are many sages, there are many pure devotees of the Lord who will come, who descend to this material world, and then by their understanding of the Shastra, by their experiences, realization of the Lord's pastimes, they will remember certain things and they will present it in the form of scriptures. So that is called as Smriti. So some people say that Shruti is superior to Smriti, where actually, but that is not the reality. Smriti is equal to the Shruti, which is claimed directly by the Shruti itself. There are statements in the Shrutis which say that the Smriti is equal in nature to the Shruti. And in fact, in order to complete the Shruti, we require the Smriti. Or in other words, if you want to understand the Shruti clearly and concisely, then you have to obviously take the help of the Smriti. So this is clearly mentioned in the Shrutis. So now we see that Srimad Bhagavatam, because it was compiled by Srila Vyasadeva, it's a Smriti. It's considered to be one of the most prominent Amala Puran. It is called as Amal Puran because it is faultless and it is completely situated in the transcendental Sattva Guna. So there are, as we know that there are 3 gunas, Rajagun, Tamagun and Sattva Gun. So there are 18 main Puranas, and obviously there are other secondary Puranas also, but there are 18 primary Puranas. These 18 primary Puranas are divided into 3 categories, which fit in the category of mode of goodness, mode of passion, mode of ignorance. So we see that Srimad Bhagavatam is in the mode of goodness, Vishnu Puran is in the mode of goodness, and then we have Garud Puran also, and then we have Padma Puran also, we have Brahma Puran also. These are all in the category of mode of goodness. But Acharyas and the great Vaishnavas, they say that Srimad Bhagavatam is actually Amal Puran, and it is also transcendental, although it may be in the category of mode of, but ultimately it is transcendental Purana. So anyways, Jeev Goswami has somehow established very thoroughly, and obviously there is ample evidence which we can share with the audience in order to say that Srimad Bhagavatam, how Srimad amongst the Shrutis and the Smritis, the Smritis are actually to be given priorities because they are the ones who are decoding the meaning of the Shruti. And then among the Smritis, ultimate authority is the Srimad Bhagavatam. That is very thoroughly established by Srila Jeev Goswami in his Tattva Sandarbha. So if someone would like to know the evidence, then definitely we can share it. Okay, so in Srimad, so considering that Srimad Bhagavatam is the absolute authority, the Srimad Bhagavatam, right from the beginning to the middle to the end, it proclaims one thing, that Sri Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and loving devotional service is actually the duty or the dharma of every living entity. Okay, and then obviously Srimad Bhagavatam also talks about the various pastimes of the Lord, the various leelas of the Lord, the various avatars of the Lord, and then finally Etecha Amsha Kalapumsha Krishnastu Bhagwan Swayam Indriyari Kulam Lokam Hridayanti Yuge Yuge. So establishing the fact that all these incarnations or all these avatars, they all belong, they are either parts of Krishna or they are parts and parcels of the Supreme Lord Krishna. Krishnastu Bhagwan Swayam. And then in the Brahma Samhita also we see that Ishvara Parama Krishna Sachidananda Vigraha Anadir Govinda Sarva Karana. So like that we have many scriptures which clearly very clearly show how Krishna is actually the Supreme Personality of Godhead in terms of 6 opulence. Are according to Vishnu Puran, these are if someone has a lot of knowledge, someone has strength, beauty, wisdom, renunciation, and wisdom, strength, beauty, knowledge, wisdom, strength, beauty, renunciation, and one more.
Beauty.
Anyone of you can recollect?
Beauty.
Beauty I've already mentioned. Beauty, strength, wisdom, knowledge, renunciation. Okay. You can just Google search. It's so easy. Anyways, these are the 6 options, and these are. Huh? Okay. So these are the 6 opulences which are infinitely, and you will fame. Okay, yeah, fame is the 6th quality which is present in full. Okay. Now these are also displayed by the other incarnations or the other gods, but they are not in full. And Rupa Swami is research in this, and has come up with scriptures called as Bhakta Samrat Sindhu, which includes quotations from different shastra in order to substantiate that amongst all avatars and gods, only Krishna. This is 4 qualities extra in addition to that of Lord Vishnu. And then Vishnu possesses 5 qualities more than that of Shiva. And then Shiva possesses 5 qualities more than that with respect to the Jiva. Okay. So this is a very thorough research conducted by Sri Goswami. So technically speaking, there are prominent qualities of Krishna are 64 in number. Although Krishna has unlimited qualities, but these 64 qualities are most prominent. And Vishnu has, out of the 64, Vishnu has only 60. He's displaying only 60 qualities. And then Shiva is displaying only 55. And the Jiva or Lord Brahma is displaying only 50 qualities. Okay. So in that sense also, we can clearly understand Krishna is actually the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Now, what are these 4 additional qualities? Anyone would like to share?
Yes, Roop Madhurya, Leela Madhurya, Venu Madhurya, and Bhakti Madhurya, Prem or Bhakti Madhurya.
Prema Madhurya, yeah, that's right, absolutely. So we see the Roop Madhurya, the beauty of Krishna surpasses the incarnations. Okay, the beauty of all the incarnations. This we can clearly understand when Lord Shiva, then Vishnu himself, and then Lakshmi also, she also got attracted to the beauty of Krishna, tried the association of Vaikuntanath, and she started running after the association of Krishna. So we can actually understand that Krishna is more beautiful, much more beautiful than Vishnu also. And then we have the quality of the Prema Madhurya. So we see that in Vishnu's pastimes, he can only exchange Dasya Bhav and Sakya Bhav to some extent, but he cannot exchange Vatsalya and Madhurya Ras with other devotees. Okay, exchange Vatsalya as well as Madhurya. So Vishnu is restricted and limited in that. And then what to speak of Shiva? He does not have any type with the devotees. So Lord Shiva is existing in 2 forms. One is Vishnu Tattva and one is Shiv Tattva. So in the Vishnu Tattva form, Lord Shiva also possesses 60 qualities. And when he's Shiv Tattva in the material world, or the Shiva in the material world, he's Shiv Tattva only possesses 55 qualities. Okay, so we'll see that in the Vaikuntha or on Sadashiv Loka, which is present in the spiritual world of Vaikuntha, there Lord Shiva has his followers, and one can also exchange Dasya Ras with Lord Shiva, but it does not go beyond that. Okay, so with Lord Ramchandra, it is Ras, that's it, and that is also suppressed. So only with Krishna, the rasas go beyond Sakhya, and it goes up to Vatsalya and Madhurya. Okay, so the Prem Madhurya, the Roop Madhurya, and then obviously we know that only Krishna plays the flute. And when he plays the flute, the sound of that flute surpasses the sound of anything else in the material world. It is completely beyond the material world. Okay, and it is also completely beyond everything else which is there in the spiritual world. So like the Gopas are also playing flute. Lord Balram also plays flute sometimes. But Krishna flute, when Krishna is playing the flute, that flute, the sound of that flute, it will surpass everything else. Okay, so this is Venu Madhurya. Last one is Leela Madhurya. The type of Leelas the Lord is having with his associates, that is completely unique. It is very intimate. And that kind of intimacy is never there with any of other Vaikuntha Vasis or the devotees of Lord Shiva or devotees of Lord. So this is all recorded in the scripture, and Rup Goswami has done a very thorough research, and he has compiled everything at one place, and he has mentioned that only Krishna has these 4 additional qualities. Okay, so this is about Lord Krishna, about his tattva. So the Shastra, the Acharyas, the Goswamis, everyone all came to see Krishna. Obviously, there is no biasness towards this. If in Shastra there is anyone who is of 6 opulences, then we are ready to accept that personality as a supreme personality of Godhead. Okay, so there is no biasness here. Really, there has to be one supreme personality, right? Because if let's say if there are multiple personalities, multiple supreme personality of Godhead, it does not make sense, because then there's no question of dependency, because everyone is complete in themselves. So why do we require the existence of others, right? So obviously there has to be only one supreme personality of Godhead. Otherwise, what will happen? You become independent, and if you are independent, then what is the meaning of having multiple personalities? So that's why only one personality is there, and he is complete. And even if you say that these multiple personalities, if they exist, and so but in totality, because if they are in totality, then one person is enough to possess the quantity and quality of others also, right? So ultimately there is only one superior truth, and whoever displays the maximum qualities is the ultimate supreme personality of God. Yeah, okay. So devotees, do you have any question on this or any comment? Yeah, we'll be taking questions a topic at a time. Okay, so once I finish the topic, and then devotees can also ask. Okay, no questions. Okay, let's go to the next topic. Okay, now this is important. It's not a topic actually, but it's so important to understand all these principles. And in fact, the Leelas that we are going to share, these are all based on these principles. And what are these principles? Chaitanya Charitamrita explains. Krishna Tattva, Bhakti Tattva, Prema Tattva, Sara, Bhava Tattva, Rasa Tattva, Leela Tattva, Ara. So Krishna consciousness means understanding the truth of Krishna, the truth of devotional service, the truth of love of God, the truth of emotional ecstasy, the truth of transcendental mirrors, and the truth of the pastimes of the Lord. So this is given in the Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Leela, 25th verse number 265. Right? So you have to know one thing: when Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says to Arjuna that Janma Karma Chama Ev Divyam Evam Yo Veti Takvata Tattva Deham Punar Janmam Naitimam Idi. So Arjuna. So one has to know Krishna in truth or in Tattva, these Tattvas. So these Tattvas, they are the Krishna Tattva, Bhakti Tattva, Prem Tattva, Bhav Tattva, Ras Tattva and Leela Tattva. Okay, if you understand Krishna, if you want to understand Krishna fully in Tattva, then we need to also understand all these Tattvas. Okay, and so the pastimes that we will be covering today will be addressing all these Tattvas. Okay, now one very common question people have. I mean, this is a question which does not technically have an answer, but you can also get an answer depending on the realization and our relationship with the Lord, because the Lord will also reveal to us with time. And so there is no particular technical definition of why answer for why Krishna is having a dark blue complexion and why does he wear yellow garments. Okay, but once the devotees, they establish their relationship with Krishna very strongly, then the Lord will also reveal many things to them. Okay, and obviously these realizations will also differ from one devotee to another devotee. So we can, because we are all individuals, so we can have multiple realizations and they can all be right. Okay, so now the question is there a this question? Why is Krishna's complexion bluish, dark bluish in color, and why does he wear yellow garments also? Any answer?
Prabhuji, regarding his complexion being dark blue, is it because he attracts everything? So anything that attracts is automatically dark in color. So is that one of the reasons?
Okay, but so someone can ask you that how does the dark color attract everyone? In fact, dark color repels, technically speaking.
No,
Because
no, no,
there's no light, there's darkness.
no. In fact, this when we say there's a black hole in the cosmos, it is black hole because even light cannot escape it. It attracts light also, so even light cannot escape its region, and therefore it is the ultimate in attraction in terms of cosmic manifestation, and therefore it is dark in color.
Okay, but you gave the example of black hole, but it is not because of the color. It is because of the density of black hole that it is actually pulling light also, and even light cannot escape from that. So it is
Correct.
not the color which is actually right. Yeah. So
So
I
it appears
heard once that Prabhupada said that Krishna takes the sins of everyone. He says in Bhagavad Gita, Aham Tvam Sarva Papebhyo, and because of that he's blackish. He said this once. I don't know if he really meant it, because sometimes he would just joke also. So not sure.
okay, so Krishna is taking the senses of everyone.
Sins,
That's why he's
sins.
black.
Yeah, sins of everyone. Sins.
Sins. Acha, acha, acha. Okay. I thought senses.
No, no.
So that how is this connected? Okay, yeah. So okay, that's a good answer. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, sins of Jagai and Madai, when he embraced them, so his also complexion turned black. So that way, yeah. But let's definitely uh, one of the answers that we can accept. But I think let's try to connect this with the loving mood of the Lord, because what you are saying is kind of connected to one's karma. Okay, but let's connect this with the loving reciprocation of the Lord with the devotees. So in that context, if someone would like to guess or if they know something. Okay, so anyways, see, one thing I can, that this is not my personal realization. Obviously, we keep hearing from Guru Sadhu Shastra. But obviously, this is a very logical or probably this is a realization of a devotee. So see, you first and foremost, Prabhupada did mention that the dark blue complexion refers to the sky complexion, and the sky is attractive to everyone. Okay, the hue of the sky, it attracts everyone. So because, like, it is one of the best colors you'll find in the entire creation, very natural, and that's why everything is coming from Krishna. So that darkish blue complexion of the sky is also coming from Krishna, like that. So it represent everything which is best in the material world also. Like, for example, we have the peacock feather also, right? So why Krishna carries a peacock feather on the head? Obviously, there are multiple answers to this, but one of the answers is that peacock is actually the best bird in the entire creation, and that's why Krishna is represented by the peacock feather also. Okay, and Krishna is carrying peacock feather over his head. So this is one of the answers. But with respect to his color, so one particular sadhu, he shared his realization that just as the Chataka bird or any thirsty devotee of the Lord, a devotee who is very thirsty for the association of the Lord, or anyone who is very greedy for the association of the Lord, they always hanker, they always want to hanker, and they want to satisfy their thirst. They are always hankering, and they would like to satisfy their thirst, right? So the Chataka bird also, the intensity of the Chataka bird is so high that it is always looking towards the sky, and it is always in the hope and expectation that it will rain, right? So because the devotees are also like Chataka birds, when they look at Krishna or when they look at the sky, sky turns dark in color, darkish blue in color. Then there is a chance, in fact, there is a very high chance that it's good. Okay. So similarly, because the devotees are like Chataka birds, that's why the color of Krishna is darkish blue, because it gives them assurance that I'm going to appear soon. If devotees, even after seeing the darkish blue complexion of the Lord, even if they have some doubt that whether I will appear or not, Krishna also wears the yellow garments. Okay, the dhoti that he wears is yellow. And why? Because when dark clouds, they are followed by lightning. Okay, and lightning color is, see, on a very heavy, intense rainy day, the color of the lightning is sometimes seen to be yellowish in color. Dark cloud or the dark body of Krishna along with the yellow garments, which is the lightning, is to confirm that the shower of mercy will definitely pour upon the devotees. So this is a wonderful realization of a wonderful devotee. Yeah, so this is why we can say that, okay, Krishna has a darkish blue complexion, and he's also wearing yellow garments. Yeah, so any comments on this? Comments? No comments? Okay. So is this how do you find this analogy?
I think gopis mentioned in the 10th canto about it, right? That we are hankering for Krishna like the bird.
Yeah, that hankering is definitely expressed. Uh, that's correct. But yeah, to actually relate with the color of the Lord is definitely something. It requires some kind of deep realization and thoughtfulness. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So let's continue. Now we will discuss about the mystical appearance of Lord Krishna. So see here, I wanted to share something very interesting and very important concept. And as I said earlier, this particular class, although now see, I have given a class on Janmashtami, which is directly connected to the appearance of Lord Krishna and the sequence of how he appears, right from uh, Kamsa is uh, he arresting Vasudev and Devki, and then he's taking them to the prison house, and then all the six sons of Devki are killed by Kamsa, and obviously the past life of Kamsa, uh, the past life of the six sons of Devki. This I have elaborately discussed in one of my previous class. So I just felt that let me address one thing which is very important for all the devotees to understand and know, is that the appearance of Krishna is very mystical. And mystical because uh, Krishna did not just appear from the womb of Devki, but he also appeared from the womb of Mother Yashoda. Okay, so he is actually the son. He is eternally the son of Yashoda, and he is also eternally the son of Devki. Okay, so now, uh, so the Vishnu, there was a king in the Vishnu dynasty, Devamida, and he had two wives. One belonged to the Kshatriya caste, and another belonged to the Vaishya. And so they gave birth to two sons. One was Sursen and one was Parjanya. And then obviously we know that how Parjanya uh, gave birth to Nand Maharaj, and he gave birth to Vasudev. So then we also know that how appeared initiated. So see what happened, because Krishna appeared in the mind of Vasudeva first, and then he appeared from the mind of Vasudeva, he transferred to the heart of Devki. Okay, and because Vasudeva was able to transfer Krishna or give Krishna to Devki, that's why Acharya say that he became the guru of Devki, and technically he actually initiated Devki. So just as the guru is providing you the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, and he's also giving you Siksha, and through that Siksha and all these other processes, you attain Krishna. So similarly, Vasudeva from himself to Devki, uh, he actually became the guru of Devki and he initiated Devki. So this is the commentary here. And something interesting now. So Devki and Yashoda gave birth to Krishna. Okay, so let's ask a question. That Yashoda also gave birth to Yogmaya, right? And then we know that how he carried Krishna from Mathura to Gokul, and then as soon as he saw uh, the Yogmaya in the baby form, he transferred. He kept Krishna, and then he took Yogmaya, and then he went again to Mathura, right? And then the Yogmaya appeared as Mahamaya, Durga, when Kamsa was trying to kill her. Okay, so now when did Krishna born from the womb of Yashoda? If you are saying that Krishna took birth simultaneously, so how this happened? And when did Yogmaya take birth from the womb of Yashoda? So what is the evidence for this? And why this is not mentioned in the Srimad Bhagavatam also? Anyone would like to guess? Yep. Okay. This is a very interesting phenomenon. So Devki and Yashoda gave birth at the same time. This is given in the Harivamsha Puran. Not only that, but they also became pregnant at the same time. So now this is what the Harivamsha Puran is saying. So let's see what Srimad Bhagavatam is saying. Okay, so the Srimad Bhagavatam, third chapter and 47th verse. Okay, so devotees, if you want, we can refer to this verse, 10th and the third chapter, 47. So you'll see, it's mentioned in the translation, after, exactly when Vasudev, being inspired by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, was about to take the newborn child from the delivery room, Yog Maya, the Lord's spiritual energy, took birth as the daughter of wife of Maharaj Nanda. So what does this indicate? So in one place, it is mentioned that Yashoda and Devki, which is mentioned in Harivamsha, it is mentioned that he gave birth simultaneously. Sorry, they gave birth simultaneously to two sons. Okay, but here it is mentioned in Bhagavatam that Vasudeva, inspired by the Supreme Mystery of Godhead, was about to take the newborn child from the delivery room. At that moment, Yogmaya took birth as a daughter of wife of Maharaj Nanda. So there is a hint here. This is a hint which is actually proving that it was Nandana Krishna who took birth from the womb of Yashoda. Okay, and they took birth simultaneously. So so Devki Nandana took birth from Mother Devki, and Yashoda Nandan took birth from Mother Yashoda, and they took birth simultaneously. Why? Because this is mentioned in the Harivamsha that Devki and Yashoda simultaneously gave birth to sons. Okay, and further in Srimad Bhagavatam, we can clearly understand from this verse, Yogmaya, it was not Yogmaya who took actually birth simultaneously, Devki Nandan. Okay, because Yogmaya, according to this verse from the Srimad Bhagavatam, Yogmaya is taking birth after some time. Okay, and when she is taking birth, when Vasudev, who is about to take the newborn child from the delivery room. Okay, so Vasudev is actually coming out from the room. At that time, Yogmaya took birth from Mother Yashoda. So in that sense, Yogmaya became the younger sister of Krishna, and at the same time, Krishna took birth on Ashtami, Yogmaya took birth on Navami, because she took birth after some time. Okay, so that's how Vasudev and Devki, Devki and Yashoda, they have given birth simultaneously, and from this hidden verse from the Srimad Bhagavatam, it is very clear that the birth from Yashoda was none other than Yashoda Nandan. Okay, the Krishna who is in Vrindavan, who appears in Vrindavan, because the Krishna in Vrindavan is different from the Krishna in Mathura, and so the same Krishna in Mathura is also the same Krishna of Dwarka, but Vrindavan Krishna and Mathura and Dwarka Krishna are different. Okay, so the Lord appears originally in his Sham Sundar form, in his Yashodanandan form, Vrajendra Nandan form, and that son is is actually the Lord. So we say that Krishna is complete in Dwarka. He's more complete in Mathura, and he's most complete. Okay, so the original form of Krishna as he is, it always appears in Vrindavan. Vrindavan padam mekanna gacchati. So Krishna never leaves one step outside of Vrindavan. Okay, that's why it's not possible that Krishna could have manifested or could have taken birth in Devki's womb, because he eternally the son of Yashoda and Devki both. Okay, so now the point is, Nanda's wife Yashoda Maya, she has two names. Okay, her name is Yashoda as well as Devki. So Devki Yashoda. This is also described in the Adi Purana. And in the Adi Purana, it is clearly said by Narad Muni that Nanda Gopa Griya, a son was born from the womb of Yashoda in the house of Nanda. So by all these evidences, we can actually see how it was Yashoda and Krishna who actually appeared in Vraj simultaneously along with Devkinandan and Krishna in Mathura. Okay, so so it is wrong to say that Krishna only appeared from Devki. In fact, Krishna also appeared from Mother Yashoda. Okay, so in Harivamsha it is mentioned that Devki became Krishna, but Yashoda gave birth to girl in the middle of same night. So after some time, Yashoda gave birth to Yogamaya, and this was during Abhijit Muhurta. So she was born on Navami. Something Acharya mentioned that when Krishna is coming to the material world, then all the incarnations of the Lord, all the avatars, they all start merging in the body of Krishna. In fact, there is one particular pastime in Garg Samhita which says that when Mother Earth was very disturbed and very sad because of all the demons trying to exploit Mother Earth, so she went to Brahma and she was begging to Brahma for protection. And then Brahma took her to, okay, and all the demigods along with Shirodakshai Vishnu. Shirodakshai Vishnu took all the demigods, Brahma, Mother Earth, to Goloka. And in that Goloka, they all saw that, Krishna is appearing, Krishna is there in Goloka, and then suddenly all these avatars, different forms of the Lord, Rama, Narsimha, Vamana, they are all entering the body of Krishna. So Brahma and other demigods, they all saw these things going on when they went to Goloka by the mercy of Shirodakshai Vishnu. And then it also mentions that Shirodakshai Vishnu, generally the role of Shirodakshai Vishnu is that Shirodakshai ocean, right? And he's lying down, and then obviously the so many universes, they come out from the pose of Shirodakshai Vishnu. So when it was time for Krishna to appear, Shirodakshai Vishnu, he enters a cave near the milk ocean, and then he leaves his body there to enter into the body of Dev Krishna, Devkinandan Krishna. So this is a slight detail which is given by the Acharyas. Okay, so now the question is, also appeared simultaneously the house of Yashoda and Nanda. Then why does Sukadeva Goswami does not directly state the birth of Krishna from Yashoda? Why he does not mention directly? Any guess? Any reason? Any guess? Okay. Yeah, because it was the intention of the Lord that he appears with Nanda and Vasudeva. However, he will remain only in Nanda's house with one form. And if he had two forms, then what would happen? Kamsa would have known about it. He would have, because someone would have informed Kamsa. And then Kamsa would have actually tried to persecute Nanda Yashoda as well as, obviously, Nanda Yashoda as well as Devki and Vasudeva both. Okay, because he could understand that Krishna has simultaneously appeared in the house of Nand, Yashoda as well as Devaki and Vasudeva. So that's why he asked Uddhav Goswami to only narrate the appearance of Krishna from the womb of Mother Devaki. Okay, so this was the intention of the Lord, and this was the desire of the Lord, and that's why Uddhav Goswami did not directly mention. And this is stated by Srila Rupa Goswami. And then same question is also answered by Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. Says that because Yashoda and Devaki, they were very deep friends. Yashoda, one name of Yashoda is to give fame. So Yasho means fame and Dadati means to give. Okay, and so it's the nature of Mother Yashoda to give fame to someone else. So Yashoda gave her fame to Devaki and allowed Devaki to become the famous mother of Krishna. However, the name Devaki is also another name of Yashoda, which is stated in the Brihad Vishnu Purana. Ve namni nanda bharayaya Yashoda Devaki tacha ata sakyam abhut tasya devakya sauri jayaya. The wife of Nanda names Yashoda and also Devaki. For it was natural that she, the wife of Nanda, developed friendship with Devaki, the wife of Sauri, who is Vasudeva. This is also in accordance with the Vaishnav Thosani, Anand Vrindavan Champu and Yad Bhagavatam. Is clear now? Any comment or question on this? I hope everyone understands and follows that Krishna did appear simultaneously. Any question? Okay. So let's go ahead with the next topic. Okay, so now the internal reason why Krishna left Vraj, why he left Vrindavan for Mathura and Dwarka. So who knows that? Very, very interesting. Why would Krishna, when he experienced the highest type of love, emotion, reciprocation from the Vrajvasis, where they are like completely surrendered, pure devotees of Krishna, no tinge of material desire, no tinge of their own happiness. Then why did Krishna leave such kind of devotees and he went to Mathura and Dwarka? So there is an external reason and there is also the internal reason. I think, okay, what is the external reason why he went there?
Because he'd come for a mission he had to complete.
Yeah, yada yada dharmasya glaniribhakti bharata apitana madhara. That was the mission of Krishna. I mean, was that the mission of Krishna? Really? That mission is actually, see, Krishna he's just playing. He just wants to play. He does not want to get into all these kind of responsibility and dharma and all these religious activities and all these things. He's not concerned about that. He just wants to have wonderful leelas with all the Vrajvasis. He just wants to relax, right? That's why he has expanded himself in the form of so many avatars, so that they can take on and they can mission. But Krishna just wants to relax and enjoy. So why would he, be so much concerned about? I mean, any form of the Lord, Vishnu, Shri Vishnu, because we know that all the forms of the Lord, they come through Shri Vishnu, who is the Paramatma super soul in everyone's heart, right? So just by coming out from the body of Kamsa in the form of Paramatma, he could have immediately died. I mean, there was no reason to actually come down. So this is one of the reasons, you can say, definitely it's one of the external reason, but mainly he wanted to, okay, I will not say, but maybe devotees if they'd like to say something. more than this. Okay, like I remember recently we are having this Chaitanya Charitamrita class, the conversation between Mahaprabhu and Ramananda Rai. So Ramananda Rai is answering the question of Mahaprabhu, and then Mahaprabhu is not satisfied, and he says, say something more, say something more. So similarly also, I would like to know something more with regards to the external reason and the internal reason. So why did Krishna appear personally? Why did he go to Mathura and Dwarka?
Because he wanted to experience the love of the gopis and Ma Yashoda.
Mataji, you are answering in a reverse sequence. We are asking the question, why did he leave Vraj for Mathura and Dwarka? I think you are answering.
Why did he take
Why
birth?
did he go to Mathura and Dwarka, leaving behind the Vrajvasis?
We wanted to display the different aspects of the spiritual planet, like Mathura and Dwarka, also part of Golok Vrindavan. So he wants to attract people to his pastimes. Like people will talk about it for so many years to come. So, and there has to be some, like there are different aspects to his personality. Vasudev Krishna is a different element to his personality, and he wants to show that he has although Vrindavan is topmost, he has other aspects too.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, so your answer is connected because so you mentioned about in order to display the glories of Mathura and Dwarka, and in order to also display one of his forms, which is also different from Vrajendra Nandan Krishna, right? Yeah. So, but why does he do that? I mean, if there are no devotees, what's the point in expanding himself, right? So, actually, the main external reason is that he wanted to reciprocate with the love of Vasudeva and Devaki. That's why he went to Mathura and Dwarka. This is the external reason. Because Krishna's business is only to extend love with the devotees. He is not bothered so much about doing killing of demons and all that. Okay, establishing dharma. In fact, in Vraj also, if you see the demons when they came to kill Krishna, it was not Krishna who was actually killing the demons. Krishna was actually bestowing prema on them. He was glancing mercifully on them. Okay, he gave liberation to the demons. He gave prema to the demons, and that is the role of Krishna. So like for example, when Trinivarta, he took Krishna away and he was taking Krishna higher and higher up. So that time, Krishna as a baby child, he was afraid because normally a baby would be afraid if they are gone to a height, right? And if they see down, then obviously they will be afraid. So what did Krishna do? In order to reciprocate or in order to exchange some kind of reciprocation with the demon, Krishna just took hold of the neck of Trinavarta. Okay. And Krishna was later on enjoying the ride. Okay, Krishna was actually he just felt that okay, he has taken a flight and he's flying. So he was enjoying that pastime. Okay, so he just caught hold of Trinavarta's neck. But now, who killed Trinavarta? So it was not Krishna, it was the Vishnu form that appeared, and actually by the potency of the Shaktis of the Lord, that Vishnu form actually choked the throat of Trinavarta. But Krishna was enjoying the pastime. He was relaxing and he was enjoying. And similarly in the pastime of Putna also, Krishna was enjoying sucking the motherly affection of Putna. He was just concerned with that. But actually it was Vishnu inside Krishna who killed Putna. Okay, so who took away the life force of Putna. And so Krishna's business, because as I said in our Balaram Jayanti class also, that Krishna is the god of love and mercy. He's not the god of justice and dharma. Okay, so this is a difference between Krishna and Vishnu. And Krishna's only business is to reciprocate with the love of the devotees. So that's why he went to Mathura and Dwarka. Now again, this is the external reason why he went there. But what is the internal reason? And I think this is so important to know, so important to share with devotees, because they will actually understand the characteristics of Krishna's reciprocation with his devotees, and to what extent he can do, to what extent he can go for them. Okay, this will be very much be evident from this reasoning. So any guess why he had to leave Vrajvasis?
He wanted to increase their hankering for him, for them, for Krishna, love and separation.
Okay, yeah. So that's a good answer. But still, there is something more to this. Tell me something more. And and now the question, follow-up question is that why he wanted to increase the anchoring of his devotees. Any guess? Okay. Uh, yeah. So the internal reason. Uh, okay. Are you all able to hear me clearly?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay. Okay. All right. Okay. So the internal reason is okay. Rajiv Prabhu, do you remember that when we had gone to Barsana camp this year?
Yeah.
So we had gone to a place called as Prem Sarovar.
Which place?
Prem Sarovar.
Prem Sarovar.
Yeah. Do you remember?
Yeah, there were a couple of sarovars, but Prem Sarovar, was it at Govardhan? Was it near the
No, no.
Govardhan Yatra?
This was actually we had somehow when we reached Prem Sarovar, it was already sunset, so it became very dark, and that's why we were not able to see that. But if you remember, we had gone down the steps and we had taken the Charnamrit of Prem Sarovar.
Ah, yes, 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 I remember.
Yeah, and I also remember that with your camera, I think you had taken a wonderful shot. It
Yes,
was
yes.
beautiful shot. You had kept it on the step, and somehow you were, yeah, it was wonderful.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So this is the secret of that. It's connected to this particular pastime at Train Sarovar. Okay, anyone remembers what Train Sarovar? Anyone has heard of the pastime Train Sarovar, which is between Nandgaon and Barsana? How many of you have been to Prem Sarovar? Okay, I don't think, except my friend Rajiv Prabhu or Angel Mataji, I don't know if any others have gone. So, anyways, this is a wonderful, beautiful pastime which happened at Prem Sarovar. So one day, uh, at Prem Sarovar, which is between Barsana and Nandgaon, Srimati Radharani, along with Lalita Vishaka and all the gopis, so they were there. And because Radharani's lotus feet are very fragrant, right, and soft, that's why one particular bumblebee came in near to Srimati Radharani's lotus feet, thinking that her lotus feet is a lotus. And then the bumblebee wanted to enter them. So then obviously she started calling out for help. And then Madhumangal, Krishna's very close friend, he was also present. And so Radharani started shouting that please take this bumblebee away from here. So she was trying to push the bumblebee. The bee became more and more attracted to her lotus feet, and she was not able to give up the lotus feet of Srimati Radharani. So Krishna immediately understood the desire of Radharani, and then he indicated to Madhumangal to take the bee away. Okay, so Madhumangal started chasing the bee with a stick, and then after some time he returned in the mood of victory, and so he said that I took away Madhusudan and he will never return. Because, okay, so he started saying this repeatedly to Srimati Radharani, that I took Madhusudan away and Madhusudan will never come back. Okay, so now we know the word Madhusudan, and it can also refer to Krishna, because Krishna is also Madhusudan, who is always trying to lick the honey-like lotus feet of his devotees, especially the gopis. Okay, that's why he's also called Madhusudana. Is also Madhusudana. So what happened is, when Radharani heard this from Madhumangal, she went into the ecstatic stage of Madanakya Mahabhav, which is the topmost stage of Mahabhav, which only Srimati Radharani possesses. No other devotee, no other incarnation. In fact, Krishna himself does not also possess this Madanakya Mahabhav. That's why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had to come in order to experience this Madanakya Mahabhav. So Radharani went into the mood of Madanakya Mahabhav in that stage. And then, even in spite of being closely sitting next to Krishna, and in fact she was embracing Krishna. So in spite of being so close, she started on away. So her Prem Vaichitya Bhav appeared, and she suddenly thought that Krishna has gone away. She could not see Krishna. She could not experience Krishna. She could not feel Krishna. So that's why Radharani started crying profusely, and she felt emotions. And okay, one second. You're able to hear me? You're able to hear me?
Your voice becomes blank suddenly. I mean, your visual pauses, and then actually it's very difficult to
So,
understand a lot of stuff because of that.
oh, really? So the voice is breaking in between?
Yeah, we lose the voice for a couple of seconds, and I think a lot of important stuff gets, missed out. So
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, I mean, it all depends on the internet connection. So sometimes it is very good, sometimes it is okay. I think whenever it is raining heavily, that time I'm having some issues. Anyways, but if you miss certain important point, I'm willing to repeat also. So you just let me know. Yeah, okay. So so then she fainted, and so when she regained her consciousness, she cried out, "Where is my Madhusudan? Where is my Madhusudan?" And in spite of Krishna being right near her, uh, sitting very close to her, he is also unable to pacify her. So now Krishna realized that this is the highest manifestation of Mahabhav of Srimati Radharani. In spite of being so close to him, Radharani was not able to recognize Krishna. So even in the meeting, in the Sambhog, there was Vipralambha. Okay, in the Sambhog, in the meeting, there was Vipralambha in separation. And this is also one of the aspects in Jagannath Puri. We say Jagannath Puri is the Dham of union in separation. Okay, because even though there is a union between Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Jagannath, but because Jagannath is the Krishna of Dwarka, that's why Mahaprabhu is not able to relish the bhav and the mood which he is relishing in Vrindavan. And the same thing also happened in Kurukshetra, when Krishna and Balram and the Yadus and the Vishnus and the Kurus, they all came, they assembled at Kurukshetra during the solar eclipse. That time also, he said to Krishna that I am the same Radharani and you are also the same Krishna, but somehow we are not feeling that kind of mood here. So we would like to go to Yamuna near the banks of, and we would like to engage in pastimes there rather than here. Okay, so again, so here also the same thing happened. Radharani displayed the highest stage of emotions, which is called as Madanakya Mahabhav, and because of that, she was not able to, and she felt that Krishna is not present. So she was completely separated from Krishna. Okay, so this made Krishna very thoughtful, and he started thinking that if this is the way how Radharani is going to react in my presence, then I think it's better that I should leave Vraj and I should go to, I should go somewhere else. Okay, because when I'm separated from her, the Mahabharata that she's displaying, she will be able to see me. She will be able to unite with me in that separation rather than me being personally present with her and rather than experiencing me. She will definitely be very disappointed and she will be very sad. She will be very, she will be completely, if I am with Radharani, then she will not be peaceful. She will not be happy. She will always keep crying because she will always be in the state of Madanakya Mahabhav. So when she is displaying this form, that time, if I am not present, that time, then in that separation, because of her intense longing and longing for me, to unite with me. Okay, and then there, there is an example that the Acharya gives that when Radharani sees a tamal tree, so she will run to embrace that tree, thinking that it is Krishna himself, and thinking that Krishna is present in the form of that tamal tree. Radharani will start cooking, and then she will also start decorating herself, thinking that Krishna is really present. So then her separation is specified by that extent. So Krishna decided to leave. Okay, so because he was afraid that again he would feel that kind of separation and that will be disturbance to his own soft heart. So this is the reason why Krishna had to leave Vraj. Okay, so any question or comment on this? Anyone has any comment or question? Does it make sense? In fact, if you observe carefully in Vrindavan also, that is the reason why we have the tamal tree right in front of Srimati Radharani's eyes. So I'm sure that every one of you have gone to our ISKCON Krishna Balram temple in Vrindavan, and you have seen that there is a big tamal tree right in front of Srimati Radharani's eyes. She is constantly looking at the tamal tree. Okay, so this is the reason. Because even if Shyam Sundar is right next to her, but sometimes in her Mahabhav, she may not see Shyam Sundar, and that's why in order to pacify her, she arrange that the tamal tree should be there. So such a deep thinking, such a deep state of consciousness, that how the Acharya can actually understand the hidden meanings of every detail in Krishna consciousness. And whatever they do, it has some purpose. So I think devotees wanted to cut off that tamal tree somehow. But Prabhupada repeatedly told them, we should not even disturb the tree. Prabhupada wanted that tree to be there. Right? So, anyone has any comment or question? Okay. Just give, yeah. Rajiv Prabhu, you wanted to say something?
No, basically, no questions.
Yeah, so can you imagine your fortune, Prabhu, at Prem Sarovar? What kind of, what level of pastime happened there? In fact, to add further to the pastime, Radharani started crying profusely, and seeing Radharani, Krishna also started crying profusely. And together, the tears of Radha and Krishna, they form this Sarovar. So actually, in Prem Sarovar, if you touch it, if you go near that place, there are a lot of positive vibes there. And you will feel that Prema is actually approaching you. The Prema of Radha and Krishna, the love of Radha and Krishna is trying to approach you, trying to, they are trying to give you that kind of love when you visit Prem Sarovar. So, such a exalted place.
Correct, Prabhu. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So, just give me 1 minute, I'll be back. Krishna. Okay, so are you all able to hear?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay. Yeah. So let's go on to the next one. Very, very mysterious last name. So we all know left for Mathura and Dwarka, right? In fact, Mathura. So initially he went to Mathura, and I think he stayed there for like around 10 or 11 years, and then finally he went to Dwarka. So we all know that how overnight Krishna shifted all the residents of Mathura to Dwarka. When Jarasan and Kal Yavana, they were trying to attack Krishna. So then Krishna just desired that I should transfer all the residents of Mathura from Mathura to Dwarka. But before that, Krishna sent Uddhava, as we can know and understand from the Srimad Bhagavatam, because Krishna was feeling intense separation from the Vrajavasis. Okay, so now obviously, see, so this is the selfless nature of the Lord. We may think that why Krishna is putting the Vrajavasis in so much of pain and separation from him, and why he's doing like this. And this is the internal reason why Krishna did it, in order to pacify Srimati Radharani, for her, considering her love, considering to give her bliss. Krishna actually left Vrindavan. And this is similarly observed in the pastime of Rasa Leela also. You will see that in the midst of the Rasa Leela dance, Krishna suddenly disappears. Okay, and then Srimati Radharani also disappears from the Rasa dance, and then Radharani is trying to search Krishna everywhere. Okay, and all the gopis also, they are following, and they are also trying to search Krishna and Radha everywhere. Okay, so now again the same question is raised: what kind of love you have for us? Why do you disappear like this? And it's a elaborate and wonderful explanation given by the acharyas, that also there was some hidden, some internal reason why Krishna actually disappeared from the Rasa Leela dance. Not to give trouble to the gopis. That was not the intention of the Lord. And so whatever Krishna does, externally it seems inappropriate, unjustified, but actually it is very deeply justified. Okay, and unless and until we Swarup of the Lord, the hidden motive of the Lord, we cannot actually understand the Lord completely. That's why I am sharing these pastimes, because through these pastimes you will understand what is Krishna's nature also. How and sometimes we blame Krishna for many things. Sometimes we doubt Krishna's character, just as the gopis also doubted Krishna's character in the pastimes of the Rasa Leela dance. But when they understood the intention of Krishna, they actually loved Krishna more dearly than ever before. Okay, and so similarly, when we also understand the desire of Krishna, why he does certain things, when we try to understand deeply with the help of the acharyas, then we can actually we can Lord very greatly, and we can also, our faith in the Lord will also increase multiple times, and our love for the Lord will also grow with time. Okay, so these are some of the pastimes. In fact, I would have loved to share the pastime of the Rasa Leela dance when Krishna left the gopis. Obviously not the Rasa Leela details. This is mainly after Krishna leaves the Rasa Leela dance and Srimati Radharani also leaves, and the reason why he did all these things to them. Okay, but obviously it would have taken another class. But the theme is the same, and this is what we'll understand from Uddhava's visit to Vrindavan and the next topic, which is Krishna's return to Vraja. Okay, so now let's discuss about visit to Vrindavan. So now Krishna is feeling a lot of separation from the Vrajvasis, and he's always chanting the name of the Vrajvasis, always glorifying the Vrajvasis, in spite of being in Dwarka, where he's served by the goddess of fortune. The thousands of goddesses of fortune are serving Krishna, but he's not feeling at ease. He's not satisfied. He's worried. He's not able to sleep, and he's constantly chanting the names of the Vrajvasis. Just as they are chanting Krishna, 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 Krishna is chanting Radha, Radha, Lalita, Vishaka, Chandravali, Saibya, all these names he's chanting again and again. And he's also chanting Yashoda, Nandan, all these names of his coward boyfriends and Mother Yashoda and Nanda Maharaj also. So he's constantly remembering the Vrajvasis. That's why in Mathura, Krishna, so now, okay, see, Uddhava goes to Vrindavan during Krishna's presence in Mathura. So so this is the time when Krishna has spent 3 months in Mathura after leaving Vraj. 3 months have passed after leaving Vraj. Yeah, so during that time, Krishna is trying to think of visiting Vrindavan. Okay, and now so he approaches Balram, is also very deeply connected with the Lord, and he's sharing his emotions and feelings because he's the elder brother of Krishna. So as a brotherly relationship, obviously we'll share everything. We'll not hide anything. We'll share everything to the brother. So similarly, Krishna confessed to Balram about visiting Vraj, and he was trying to take the opinion of Balram regarding this matter. But Balram told him that it seems very difficult because the Yadus, they will not allow us to go there. So let's do one thing. Let's go and consult Rohini. I mean, Balram's mother. So because they wanted to consult Rohini because she was the one who had knowledge about Krishna's pastimes in Vrindavan as well as in Mathura. Okay, she was familiar with both the places, and she was also familiar with the mood of both the devotees in Vrindavan as well as in Mathura and Dwarka. Okay, so they approached Rohini Devi, and Rohini told them that actually I had approached the Yadus, especially Vasudev and Ugrasen Maharaj, and the Yadus in general, and I have to present my views that it's, if it is possible, Krishna and Balram can visit Vraj. But every time, whenever she tried to present it, they did not agree. And why they did not agree? Why they did not agree? What is the reason? Who would like to guess? Why they were concerned about Krishna's going to Vraj? Okay, what would happen if Krishna and Balram went to Vraj? This is a very simple logical reasoning. I mean, there is no deep reasoning required here. There's a very simple logic required.
Maybe they wouldn't return back or something.
Of course, yeah, it's so natural that if they went there, then they knew Krishna's love for them is so high, so exalted. That's why allowing Krishna and Balram to go there. Okay. So now the question may be raised here, then why did they allow Krishna and Balram to visit Hastinapur, Kurukshetra, and some other places outside of Mathura and Dwarka? Why did they allow Krishna and Balram to visit other places? Because they had full faith that they will return back, right? Whenever they went outside of Mathura and Dwarka to some other place than Vrindavan, then it was for some kind of duty, some call, some obligation, some purpose was there. Okay, so as soon as that was finished, they returned back, and that happened a couple of times. So obviously there was no fear of losing association. Okay, so when they were discussing that they will not send Krishna and Balram to Vrindavan, so then finally they all came to this after deep thinking that if we are not able to go there, then we should try to send someone there. Okay, and now it was Uddhav who was to be sent there. So they decided that Uddhav should be sent. So now the question is that what was the qualification of Uddhav? Decided to send him there. Why they only selected Uddhav for this? Why not the other Yadu? There are multiple reasons why Uddhav was selected. So devotees can, if they can guess one of them also, it will be great. And I think it's not so difficult to guess why he sent Uddhav.
One reason was to make India very the peace Shri Radha, so that through him the entire world would come to know. Because even though he might say, but when someone like Uddhav goes, who's already a very learned person and who a whole thing of like he was like this is what's he was maybe, even if he was thinking that to console them, that okay fine, he would give them some knowledge and he would console them, but then they don't actually need any Uddhav.
I think your voice is also breaking, and but I think the question you did give some kind of answer, but my question was that why not someone else? I'm not sure if I heard that answer of yours, but you are giving some explanation. But yeah, why only Uddhav? No other Yadu member. Yeah, Swati Madhuri, you want to say something?
Yes, Prabhuji, we've also heard that Uddhav looked almost similar to Krishna.
Yeah. That's that's one of the main reasons why Krishna selected Uddhav. Yeah. So obviously on the external platform it was like that, but on an internal platform or the internal reasoning, there are multiple reasons why Krishna, Balaram, and uh, Mother Rohini decided that he should be sent. So obviously the foremost is that he resembled Krishna completely. Okay, so by seeing one could relate with Krishna directly. Like if you see some like you love someone, and you see the if that lover has a twin. Okay, so if you see that uh, twin, then obviously it will greatly remind you of that lover. That's very natural. So because Uddhava resembled Krishna to a great degree, it was obvious that he could be the best person to uh, be sent, uh, and it will increase their affection and their love for Krishna also by associating with Uddhav. So now, okay, so there are other multiple reasons why Krishna had sent Uddhav, because whatever, see, Uddhav, he had a very respectful position in Yadu, in the dynasty of Yadu, Krishna dynasty, and whatever he would go and tell the Vishnus, they would have all accepted that with faith. There was no question of any kind of countering the, whatever Uddhav used to say, uh, they accepted with faith completely. There was no question of refuting his ideas. Okay, so Krishna knew that if Uddhav had gone there, then when he will see the intensity of prema that the Vrajvasis have for me, then he's the best person to describe it. And the best because of other reasons also, which we'll go through. But when he comes back and when he will share with all the Yadu members, they will all agree what he says, and they will accept, and they will agree that the love of the Vrajvasis is far superior to the love of the Yadu members. So this is one of the reasons why Uddhav was sent. In the Bhagavatam, Sukdev Goswami is using the word Sakha. with reference to Uddhav. So the word Sakha means that as a friend, he could understand the feelings of Krishna, and he could also understand the feelings of the gopis to a certain degree. Why? Because in the pastimes of Krishna with the gopis, there are friends from Krishna's side and there are friends from Srimati Radharani's side. So like Lalita, Vishaka and all that. And then Krishna has his Gopa friends like Subal, Sridama, all these Madhumangal. So they are all connected to Krishna. And whenever there is pastime going on, all these friends, they make arrangement and they also participate in the Leela. So similarly, so the word Sakha has specifically been used here in order to understand that Uddhava, being a very intimate friend of Krishna, he would be able to understand the feelings of the gopis with Krishna. Okay. Another reason is that he was a disciple of Brihaspati. And being a disciple of Brihaspati, he had knowledge of all the Shastras, but except the knowledge of the Shastra of Prema. Okay, that Brihaspati also was not aware. So even though Uddhav did not have knowledge of the Shastra of Prema, but he Buddhi Satama, which the Bhagavatam is describing Uddhava as Buddhi Satama. He was very intelligent to understand the dealings between Krishna and the gopis. So he was, even though he had no knowledge, but if he would have seen and understood, then he could have really connected with that. And he was very intelligent to understand the dealings and the situation of the Lord with the gopis or the Vrajvasis. Okay. Another reason is that Uddhava means festival of joy. The meaning of the word Uddhav means festival of joy. So when the see Uddhav, they will become very blissful. That's one of the reasons. Another reason is that amongst all the devotees in the Yadu dynasty, Uddhava was Ekanta Bhakt. And what is the meaning of Ekanta Bhakt? Ekanta Bhakt is a devotee who can give up his father, mother, and all other attachments, and he's very fixed in mind towards the lotus feet of the Lord. And so Uddhava was one of the Ekanta Bhaktas, and among all these Ekanta Bhaktas, he was Preshtam, which means he was topmost. Okay, so this is one of the reasons. Another reason is that only and Madhurya Bhav and Aishwarya Bhav or Aishwarya Rasas in the proper way, in a balanced way. Okay, so let's say if Uddhava was in Madhurya Ras only, then obviously there was no purpose of sending Uddhava to Vrindavan, because then Uddhava would have completely have been aligned with the feelings of the Vrajvasis, and he would not have returned back, and he would have blamed Krishna. Okay, so he would have not understood properly what Krishna is, and that's why he would have not achieved the purpose. And at the same time, he was not completely in Aishwarya Bhav, because if he was in Aishwarya Bhav, then he could not have understood the feelings of the gopis, and he could have thought the gopis to be some kind of sentimentalist. Okay, so that's why a balanced form of Madhurya Aishwarya was required in order to understand the mindset of the gopis and the Vrajvasis for Krishna. Okay, so this is one of the most important reasons why Krishna actually sent Uddhav. Krishna asked him to console his friends and the gopis, and in the Bhagavatam, you see in the particular verse, there is a special reference Krishna is making for the gopis, and he is glorifying the gopis also. Okay. Krishna also said that the gopis, they their lives because I have made a promise to them that I will return back. Otherwise, they would have given their lives completely. But just because I have given them the promise, the gopis are still alive. So you have to go and you have to pacify them. He said, that they have no contact with their husbands whatsoever. Yeah, so even in spite of being married to the husbands, in spite of having marital relationship with their spouse, the gopis were completely dedicated to Krishna. And now the question is that how is it possible if they love Krishna so much? How come these gopis got married to their husbands? So what is the answer to this? Why did the gopis get married? If they were so attached to Krishna, why did the gopis get married? Like, in our Krishna consciousness, we say that, oh, if this devotee is so attached to Krishna, why he should get married? He should stay brahmachari, or he should take sannyas. So then the same question on a Siddha platform also we can say, why the gopis had to marry? And the answer is also simple. It is not complex. It's easy to guess because there is the flavor of Parikiya Ras. So obviously, in order to enjoy that Prema relationship, the gopis got married to their husband, and they got married, but they had no physical contact with them. In fact, whenever they had some kind of contact with them, so what basically happened is Yogmaya created duplicates of these gopis. So the gopis who had gone to the Rasa dance with Krishna and the gopis who were engaging in the pastimes of Krishna, they were a different set of gopis than who were with the husband. So these are the gopis. So two forms of gopis. One expanded form is with the husband, and the original forms they go and engage with Krishna's Leela. Okay. Obviously, in order to enhance the Paramar loving affairs, this is what is arranged by Yogmaya. Okay. So that's why it is said that they had no physical contact with the gopis, which means that the original forms, they had no physical contact with the husband, and the expanded forms, they were even during the Ras Leela, all the gopis had gone to Krishna, but the husband never felt that they have gone to Krishna because they saw them at their bedside. They were all there near them. So who had gone to meet Krishna? So it was the original form which went to Krishna, and the expanded form, they were actually near their husband. Okay, so this is the understanding. So then, obviously, Uddhav mounted his chariot and then took off. And then he reached during the time of sunset. Okay. Now, it's very interesting to know one thing. If you refer to the Bhagavatam 10th canto, 46. So I
Your
don't know
voice
if
is
how many of you. Okay. Okay. How much? What is the last thing you heard?
Uddhavji reached in the evening. Then after that, we didn't hear anything.
Yeah. Yeah. So after that, now it's very interesting because Uddhav is entering at the time of sunset, and what he sees, which is very mysterious. And I would like you to refer to the Bhagavatam sloka 46th chapter and verse number 9 to 13. Okay, so you are on verse number, I would like to read it for you. So it says, all sides with the sounds of bulls in rut fighting with one another for fertile cows, with the mooing of cows, burdened by their udders, chasing after the calves, with the noise of milking and of the white calves jumping here and there, with the loud reverberation of flute playing, and with the singing auspicious deeds of Krishna and Balaram by the cowherd men and women who made the village resplendent with their wonderfully ornamented attire. The cowards' homes in Gokul appeared most charming with their abundant paraphernalia for worship of the sacrificial fire, the sun, unexpected guests, the cows, the brahmanas, the forefathers, and the demigods. On all sides lay the flowering forest, echoing with flocks of birds and swarms of bees, and beautified by its lakes crowded with swans, birds, and bowers of lotuses. What do you understand from this verse? What is the mood this particular verse is actually bringing out? Okay, is this bringing out a very sad mood, or is this bringing out a very happy, joyous mood in Vraj? What do you feel? No one? I mean, what mood do you get from this verse? What is finding difficult to understand? Is that a joyful mood or sad mood? Are you able to hear me?
So it sounds like as if it's a happy mood, like it's like a normal life they're going on.
Yeah, so exactly. So we can clearly understand that it's a very joyful mood. And now, if it's a joyful mood, then what's happening here? Would specify these Rajvasis, and they are in such a joyful mood. So how will he pacify him? Pacify them, right? Because they are so happy. So here there is some mystery. Basically, what happened is Krishna, when Uddhav entered, he was just about to enter Vraj during sunset. Krishna showed the splendor of Vraj to Uddhav instead of the grief. And it was Yogamaya who actually covered that aspect of sadness and grief. And she displayed a very joyful mood in Vraj. Amazing, right? Okay. So we'll come to this. Why this happened, we'll come to that later. Just remind me if I forget it. So, of showing that interest, disinterest, humble mood, Yuma showed them a very charming, joyful mood. Okay. Okay. And later, as soon as Uddhav entered Vraj, and then he went, and first thing he did is that he went and he greeted Nanda Maharaj and Yashoda Maiya. Okay. And as soon as Nanda Maharaj and Yashoda Maiya saw Uddhav, so one of them, which was Nanda Maharaj, he immediately greeted Uddhav. And he offered him a sitting place, and he also offered him uh, some paraphernalia. And then uh, after some time, he also offered him some first class prasad, which was sweet rice. Now, the question is that how could they prepare such a first class bhoga? Because it is said the Vrajvasis' home, they remained unkempt, filled with leaves, grass, dust, spider, and everything else. Okay, because once Krishna had left them, they were like uh, lifeless. I mean, there was no point in living. They were living like that. They wanted to die, but somehow because of Krishna's promise, they were holding back, and they were turned back. So they were all in a very uh, you know in a dying condition, and they were not having prasad properly, they were not dressing themselves properly, they were not having they've forgotten smile also. That was the condition of these Brajvasis. So here I am sharing a very depressed mood of Vraj, but what mood that Uddhav saw in the beginning is completely contrary. Okay, so I will come to that later. But here he's seeing a mood of the Vrajvasi in separation from the Lord. Okay, so then how is it possible that they offered sweet rice to Uddhav? So acharyas, they say that in fact it is mentioned that they only sustain on milk, yogurt and buttermilk, which people brought from outside villages, from neighboring villages. Okay, so they did not even get the thought to buy something house. Okay, it was only because of from the neighboring villages, people used to come and they used to offer them all these things. So actually, the acharyas say that one particular brahmana in the entourage of Nanda Maharaj, he understood the feeling of Nanda Maharaj, that because Uddhav has come to Vraj for the first time, so he should not starve. And that's why Nanda Maharaj wanted to make sure that he should be fed something. But because they didn't have anything, so what the Brahmana did, he just took enough chipped rice uh, that would be suitable for only one person. And quickly he made that kheer, sweet rice, and he offered to Uddhav. So this was a condition in Vraj. After the meeting of Nand Maharaj with Uddhava, Nand started inquiring about Vasudev. Is Vasudev free now? And is Vasudev with Krishna and Balram? Because Vasudev was imprisoned by Kamsa. So he's asking Uddhav first about Vasudev. Now, the question is that why did he inquire about Vasudev first? So the acharyas explain that if he would have inquired about Krishna directly, then he could have been completely devastated, because his voice would have been choked and tears would profusely flow down from his eyes. So he would not have been speaking to Uddhav properly about, and especially in terms of inquiring about Vasudev and other members of the Yadu dynasty. So then he started the conversation asking about Vasudev. Okay, and then later about Krishna. Okay. And he started asking him, come here once, and it is a great mercy of the Lord that he has saved us from demons so many times. He has protected us. and we all remember his smiling face, and we all remember his pastimes, and we all remember his glancing, the wonderful, beautiful glance, the smiling face that he reciprocated with us. And just by the glance, just by remembering the glance, we forget the material existence. This is actually the specialty of Krishna's glance also. What to speak of his body, right? Glance also, he can relieve, he can completely satisfy the Vrajvasi. So when we are going to see him, and when we see all the past of the Lord, we start remembering him more and more. Okay, and we become completely absorbed. Now this is very strange that what happens when we want to forget someone. Whenever we are connected to one place, we move outside and we go to. But in Vraj, what happened? Even if they had gone outside, each and every place was filled with Krishna's pastime. So they couldn't even get that kind of free space. They were completely absorbed in Krishna. Wherever they used to go, they used to remember Krishna because Krishna was very much deeply connected. So they didn't get that kind of break which they wanted. I mean, in terms of forgetting Krishna, but Krishna was everywhere. Okay, so Nand Maharaj is sharing all these things with Uddhava, and then Nand Maharaj suddenly started remembering that he must be some kind of devil who is able to kill all these great big demons, and that's why it was possible for him to kill Kamsa and his associates. And he also recollected how Krishna broke the bow, which was in Nand Maharaj's assembly, and Acharya say that it was. But Bhagavatam is saying that that bow was 270 feet long. It was 270 feet tall. Okay, so obviously all these impossible feats Krishna performed, and that's why Nand Maharaj is recollecting all these things, and he's thinking that maybe my son is a demigod. So basically, what is happening here? Nand Maharaj is recollecting all these Aishwarya pastimes of the Lord, but his prema is always fixed. It does not weaken his prema. So even though he's reminded of the opulences of the Lord, but he's always fixed in his relationship with Krishna as the father of Krishna, and that did not subside anytime. Okay, whereas we see that the same type of relationship Arjuna had with Krishna, and when Arjuna saw the universal form of the Lord, the Aishwarya Gyan kind of took over Arjuna, and he started submitting himself to Krishna. Okay, so basically that's why Arjuna is in an inferior rasa with the Lord, although he's in Sakhya Bhava, but he's Sakhya with Aishwarya Gyan of the Lord. Okay, but here we see that Nand Maharaj was completely indifferent, although he was remembering the opulent pastimes of the Lord. Hearing Nand Maharaj speak about Krishna, Yashoda began to cry profusely, and then milk also started pouring. So right from the day it is mentioned, day Krishna left Vraj, Yashoda Maya was crying profusely, and continuously the milk was pouring down. So she was constantly crying, and in fact, to the degree that she couldn't recognize Uddhav. She couldn't see Uddhav, she couldn't recognize Uddhav. Neither she could treat Uddhav properly, and neither she could ask any questions, and neither she could send any message to Uddhav. That was her state. So that's why we see that there's a conversation between Nand Maharaj and Uddhav, because Yashoda was not even able to speak, not even able to recognize Uddhav. So this is the difference between the love of Nand Maharaj and Yashoda Maya. That's why Yashoda Maya's love for Krishna is superior to Nand Maharaj. Okay, she was experiencing higher emotions, Mahabhav. So now Uddhav had an idea about the type of prema that Yashoda Maya was displaying, Nand Maharaj was displaying. He had some idea, but now he's actually seeing it live. Okay, he had heard it from Krishna and from Balram and Rohini and other devotees, but this is actually something that is seen very live. Okay, and that's how he could actually feel the superiority of Nanda and Yashoda over Vasudeva and Devki's love for Krishna. And because of this, he was very happy. He felt very blissful in spite of seeing. Okay, so this is very interesting that even though Vasudeva, Nanda Maharaj and Yashoda, uh, they were anxious, they were sad, they were depressed. In the midst of that, Uddhava found himself to be very blissful because he saw the type of love, that the kind of love they had for Krishna was of a very superior quality. So Uddhav then realized, actually, although they are anguished currently, but actually they are experiencing the highest state of emotions and they are experiencing the highest bliss, because through separation, the intensity of love also increases manifold. Okay, and then Uddhav realized that's how my life has now become successful, just by taking the association of Nand Maharaj and Yashoda Maiya. Okay, so and mention how Krishna Balram are one. And okay, so now after, see what happened is Uddhav started glorifying Nand Maharaj and Yashoda Maiya, and he started understanding the supreme position. And then he started thinking that how to pacify these devotees, what adopt in order to pacify them, because if I say something, they will not be able to, they are in that mood, they are in the, and whatever I say, it may not have the effect on them in order to pacify their love. So then Uddhava started mentioning to them, Balram, they are one and the same Narayan in everyone's heart. So he started giving them some kind of knowledge, knowledge of the Aishwarya, the Aishwarya Bhav of the Lord, the knowledge of Aishwarya Bhav of the Lord to them. Okay, so he started, he tried to, share, so somehow intense love and emotions could be pacified. And then he also mentioned to them that you two have rendered the greatest kind of service, and there is no need of any pious activities you have to do. And started consoling them by saying that Krishna is also called as Achyuta, which means someone who is infallible, who will never fail. And so by using the word, specifically the word Achyuta, he said that because Krishna has promised, he will fulfill his desire. He will fulfill his promise, and he will very quickly come to Vraj. So he was trying to console them like that. Now, so there's very interesting concept here. It is mentioned in the Bhagavatam. There is the use of the word karoti. Okay, during these pastimes which are happening, Uddhava is exchanging his thoughts with Nanda Maharaj. One particular word is karoti in the Bhagavatam. It says this karoti is actually in the present tense, which indicates that Krishna is fulfilling the promise that he gave right now in another manifestation. Krishna present there, being attentively cared by Yashoda and Nanda Maharaj, unseen by Uddhav, by the influence of Yogmaya or Saraswati Devi. Now, if you remember, this Saraswati Devi, I had mentioned that Yogmaya is also referred to as Saraswati Devi. And this Saraswati Devi is not Ma, but she is Divya Saraswati. It's another name of Yogmaya. So by the influence of Saraswati Devi, and as we say that Saraswati blesses our speech, right? So similarly, when Uddhav said that Krishna is fulfilling his promise, he did it exactly at that time. He was doing it exactly at that time. Okay, and that's how Saraswati had somehow manifested in the voice of Uddhav. And it was actually, whatever he spoke was truth, that Krishna was present and he was being taken care by Nanda and Yashoda. That was unseen by Uddhava. Okay, so Srila Prabhupada says in his Krishna book, Krishna was present in his bhava expansion. That's why he could feel. Okay, so they were able to understand. So Krishna was actually present in Vrindavan, very attentively taken care by Nanda and Yashoda. So this bhava expansion is actually the aprakat manifestation of Krishna's presence. Okay, so there is the prakat manifestation and there's the aprakat manifestation, which we'll talk about it later. And Uddhav further into he console them further by saying that Krishna is the Supreme Soul. And he said this after this because they wouldn't believe, they were not convinced of his assurances. So in order to weaken their prema, then he started giving them the knowledge. Even after that, the prema didn't weaken, and he spoke about Brahmagyan and said that Brahman is different. Okay, he has no work to do in this world, yet he appears to save the saintly people, and he is beyond the modes of material nature and accepts the association with them as he plays around. Okay. So due to our false ego, we think we are the doers, and Krishna is not only our son but everyone. So Uddhava is actually trying to give them that kind of Brahmagyan, trying to pacify them. So this discussion between Uddhav and Nand Maharaj, it lasted for a long time, the whole night, but still he couldn't pacify them, and nor he could make them accept his advice. So then the next morning, Nand Maharaj started deliberating, began thinking that he's asking me to accept him as Lord. But how can I accept him as my Lord? Because he's my son, finally. So this emotion in Nand Maharaj was present, and he always felt that Krishna is his son. There's no question of Krishna being his Lord. So Uddhava basically could not convince them. Okay. So in the next morning, again when Uddhava woke up, he saw that the gopis were joyfully singing and remembering since they felt Krishna's presence. Okay, so he saw the same state as before when he arrived. So he saw the manifestation of Krishna when he entered Vraj, and when in the morning we woke up, he saw the same state. But then again, what happened is Uddhava's chariot was near the house of Nand Maharaj. So when the gopis came, they saw the chariot and they started asking whose chariot is it. And the first thing that came up to the mind is that probably this is the chariot of Akrura again, and he has again arrived in Vraj to take away Krishna back. Okay, and why he came back this time? To offer our flesh at the funeral rites of Kamsa. So this is what they started thinking, and just at that moment, Uddhav appeared. So now see what is the sequence here. Uddhav arrived. He saw a very happy, joyful mood of Vrajvasis. And when he started meeting Nand Maharaj, he saw a very depressed mood. And then the next day morning, Uddhava saw a very happy mood. Okay. And then later, when he saw the gopis, when he met the gopis, again he found it a very depressing mood. Okay. So this is actually a mystery, and we'll explain why this happened. It's a very interesting phenomena. So any question till now? Okay. So we'll continue. So Krishna, the question is whether Krishna returned to Vraja or not after living in Mathura and Dwarka. Because we hear that it is mentioned, people mention that Krishna never went back to Vraj and the Vrajvasis had to suffer and it was not justified. Krishna cheated them. He did not reciprocate back with the love. Right? So Krishna returned to Vraj. That is the question. And so I would like to ask devotees if they know anything on this, if they have heard anything about this. So did Krishna return to Vraj? Swati Mataji?
I'm not sure, Prabhu.
Okay. Yeah, so actually the Bhagavatam does not directly mention about this, but indirectly it does mention a couple of places that Krishna actually returned to Vraj. And there are two references when he returned to Vraj. So now we'll discuss that. So in the Srimad Bhagavatam, 10th chapter, 28 verse, if you refer to that. 10th canto, first chapter, 28. Yeah. Since that time, the city of Mathura had been the capital of all the country. The city and district of Mathura are very intimately connected with Krishna. For Lord Krishna lives eternally. Some indication and hint here that Krishna is always connected to Mathura intimately, and does not just mean Mathura; it also means Madhuvan, which can also refer to Vraj. Okay. So basically, the concept is that devotees, they want to stay in their respective dham rather than they want to move along with the Lord. So like a question can be asked that why the devotees, they did not go to Mathura and Dwarka. This question can be, so much separation from Krishna, then why they had to stay back at Vraj? They should have gone to Mathura and Dwarka. But the answer is quite simple, that because of the Aishwarya of the Lord in Mathura and Dwarka, there would have been a mixing of rasa, because the Vrajvasis, they would like to see Krishna only in Madhurya form, in sweet form, with no tinge of Aishwarya bhav, right? So he's a kingly person in Mathura and Dwarka, whereas in Vraj, he's a coward boy. They want to see him as a coward boy. They want to relate to him as a coward boy, not as a king. And that's why they couldn't relate with the rasa which was manifested in Mathura and Dwarka. Okay, it would have been some kind of rasa bas, and they would not have been satisfied there. That's why they did not stay there. So here we can understand that the devotees of the particular dham, they would like to stay in that particular dham only, because they are completely satisfied with that particular rasa with the Lord. So those who are in Aishwarya Bhav, those who are residents of Mathura and Dwarka, they are completely satisfied to stay in Mathura and Dwarka, and they are satisfied in their relationship with Krishna in that way. But those who want Madhurya Bhav, especially of that of the Vraj type of Bhav, they only remain in Vraj. And another reason is that the Dhamvasis have attachment to the Dham. Attachment which is also superior, apparently to attachment to Krishna also. That's why they prefer to stay in the Dham rather than to go with Krishna. If so, someone would ask this question, that if they are Krishna, then why they did not go to Krishna? Why they did not leave their dhams? Because so basically what they are doing is they are showing more affection for the dham than for Krishna. But actually, apparently, externally it is like that, because ultimately it is a deep connection with Krishna. That's why that connection to dham is deep, because Krishna is present in the most complete manner in that particular dham. Okay, so Krishna is fully manifested in sweetness in Vraj Dham only. That's why they have more attachment to the Dham than to physical association of Krishna. Okay. Yeah, so it is for the Vrajvasi's attachment to Krishna in their particular mood that makes them prefer Krishna rather than following him elsewhere. Now, after understanding this concept, so now we will see how Krishna returned in Vraj. So in Rup Goswami, in his Laghu Bhagavatamrit, he mentions that during the Lord's Prakat pastime, hymns separate. Uh, okay, once again, I think my battery is getting low. Hare Krishna. Very good. Yeah, are you able to hear me?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay. Yeah, so Rup Goswami mentions the Lord's Prakat time, the people of Vraj were separated from him for 3 months. Lord Krishna reappeared among them and spent 3 months with them. And, that describes how Krishna returned to Vrindavan from Mathura after killing Kamsa, the Vrajvasis for 3 months. See, there is some hidden indication and evidence in Srimad Bhagavatam, and it is stated 3 times. So, one time Krishna promised to return to Vrindavan is while leaving for Mathura, he promises the gopis. The second time after killing Kamsa, he promises Nanda Maharaj. Okay. And then in the letter that Uddhava delivers to the gopis, Krishna promises to return. So 3 times there is reference of Krishna promising to return to Vraj. So how can Krishna not return to Vraj? Okay, and there is one particular uh, self-evident shloka from the Srimad Bhagavatam. So this is the first canto. If you go to the first canto, and if you go to the 11th chapter, and if you go to the 11th chapter, 19th verse. Okay, one second. Not the 19th verse, one second. Yeah, it's the 9th verse, not the 19th, 9th verse. Yeah, so, okay, are you able to hear now? 1, 1, 11, 9. Okay, so it says, "O Lotus-eyed Lord, whenever you go away to Mathura, Vrindavan, or Hastinapur to meet friends and relatives, every moment of your absence seems like millions of years. O infallible one, at the time our eyes become useless as if of sun." Yeah, so you can see here, you see the original Sanskrit sloka, and it mentions Kurun Madhun Vatha Suhardra Tidakshaya. So in the second line of the shloka, you see Madhun. And you see how Prabhupada is structured in Madhun as the inhabitants of Mathura. And he has given as Vraj Bhumi. Okay. Now, Madhun generally refers to Mathura, but why it is also referring to Vraj is very clear here. This is a sloka which is spoken by the residents of Dwarka. Okay. Whenever they see that Krishna returns back to Dwarka, they offer this prayer to Krishna, and they say that, "Oh, lotus head Lord, whenever you go to Mathura or Hastinapur, every moment seems like billions of years." So whenever you go away to Mathura Vrindavan, obviously it can be Mathura. Why? Because these are the same Yadu Vasis who have shifted from Mathura. So no one is there in Mathura, right? So it cannot be Mathura. So it has to refer to Vraj only. It cannot, and obviously Mathura cannot refer to Hastinapur. So this is a very substantial verse which basically proves that Krishna did return to Vrindavan after he went to Mathura and Dwarka. Twice he has returned. There is reference of 2 times he returned to Vrindavan. The first time he returned in a aprakat form, which I will explain when we cover that topic. And second time he returned as per Garg Samhita's the Padma Puran's narration. So in the Padma Puran, it is mentioned that Krishna fought with Dantavakra in front of the gate of Mathura, and then Krishna's subsequent visit to Vraj, where he gives pleasure to the Vrajvasis for 2 months before returning to Dwarka. Okay. So this is the reference from that Krishna indeed entered Vraj. He indeed entered Vrindavan from Mathura. And this is what the Bhagavatam is also indirectly referring to. Okay, so then Srila Sanatana Goswami and Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti, they also give their commentaries to Srimad Bhagavatam Sloka, 10th canto, 77th chapter, verse number 37, and then 78th chapter, verse 1 to 13. So both of them, they comment. And they say that this is confirmed, that Krishna returned to Vrindavan. And Chief Goswami goes one step further. That is the entire pastime, how Krishna went to Vrindavan in his Gopal Champu. So the evidence of which is found in the Padma Purana. So Goswami is describing very elaborately in 9 chapters in Gopal Champu how Krishna entered Vrindavan. He had pastimes. Following the question arises, why the Bhagavatam does not discuss Krishna's return to Vraj? The answer is that, so when Krishna returned to Vrindavan, he gave pleasure to his relatives and friends. And before returning to Dwarka, he miraculously expanded himself and took the planetary expansion of the Vrajvasis to the spiritual world. So Sukdev Goswami thought that Parikshit Maharaj might wonder how Krishna, who caused the cowards to attain Vaikuntha in their self-same body, could also have caused the residents of Dwarka to attain such an inauspicious end in the Mosa Leela. Right? Because we know that the way Yadus were destroyed, that was very ghastly. It was terrible. I mean, you cannot even hear that, how everyone. But here we see that Krishna enters Vraj and then he's taking all the Vrajvasis back to Goloka. Such a blissful, such a wonderful ending, right? And that's why Sukdev Goswami told this time, Maharaj, even though the Uttarakhand of Padma Puran is explaining this pastime. So because Parikshit Maharaj, due to his own affinity for the Yadus, might have considered Krishna unfair. Right? So this is the reason why it is not directly referred to. So even without such evidences, devotees understand Krishna's promise never failed. So even without all these evidences that Goswamis have provided, we can understand that Krishna never breaks his promise, because uh, he states it very clearly that Name Bhaktya Pranashyati, that my devotee will never perish. And this is a promise he has asked Arjuna to give on his behalf. So Krishna can obviously, he may sometimes break his promise, but he will never break the promise of his devotees. So when Uddhav is giving that promise on behalf of, we can understand that it's not possible Krishna will break his promise. So Jiva Goswami says that if Krishna did not return to Vraj, would be wrong, and obviously that is impossible. Okay, so this is the on understanding Krishna's return to Vraj. Now there is another perspective which is given by, explained by Srila Jiva Goswami, which is also very important to understand. So any question on this, Mataji? Any particular comment or question till now? But follow. Are you able to follow, Mataji?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay, no doubts, right?
Yeah, actually the voice is breaking in between here and there. But otherwise it's clear.
Is that frequent or what?
Now Prabhuji, like for few minutes, last few months.
Okay, okay. So if you have any comment, question, or if you missed something, you can ask.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay. So now we'll go to the aspect of name of Krishna. Sloka in the Yamal Tantra that describes the difference between Krishna's appearance in Vrindavan and his appearance in Mathura and Dwarka. Krishnanyo yadu sambato ya purnosto asti atapara Vrindavana pratyajya sakachinaiva gacchati. So this is stated in the Yamala Purana. The Krishna known as Yadu Kumar is Vasudeva Krishna. He is different from Krishna, who is the son of Maharaj Nanda. Yadu Krishna manifests his pastimes in the cities of Mathura, but Krishna, the son of Maharaj Nanda, never leaves Vrindavan at any point of time. It's quoted in the Lagu Bhagavatam also by Rupa Goswami. So basically, what happens is when Prakat Leela is going on, then so when one dham is on in the Prakat Leela, the other dham is in the Aprakat Leela. So first of all, what is Prakat, Aprakat? Prakat is something which is perceived by the conditioned souls, something that the conditioned souls can directly see. Okay, and when Krishna appeared in the material world, the conditioned souls could see Krishna face to face. Okay, now the pure devotees, the Nitya Siddhas, they can see Krishna face to face anytime, even if Krishna is not personally present with them, but they are always seeing Krishna because, and only if you have prema, your vision is purified completely, then only you can see Krishna face to face, and he's always present. But if you are not purified, then when Krishna goes away, then you cannot see Krishna because he has left your vision. So whatever you can see with the material eyes, that is called prakat, and whatever you see with the spiritual eyes, that is aprakat. So gopis, Nityasiddha Vrajvasis, they can all see Krishna anytime, everywhere, because they are always seeing Krishna because of their purified prema, intensified form of prema. Whereas we cannot see Krishna because we. So this is, so prakat is in context with only the conditioned soul, the sadhakas. It is not in relationship with Nitya Siddhas. Okay, and so aprakat for the sadhaka. So this terminology of prakat, aprakat is for us. It is not for the Nitya Siddhas because everything is prakat. They can see everything and anywhere, everything whatever they would like to see. Okay, and obviously sometimes by Krishna can also make certain things disappear from their vision also. Okay, and that is temporarily manifested through Yoga Maya, but that is different. Okay, our is different, our vision is different. That's why this terminology is applicable to us. So the Dhamvasis where Krishna is perceive his presence. Basically, okay, so let me start with the example of when Uddhava is visiting Vrindavan. So what happens? Uddhav is when he just enters, he's seeing a very joyful mood of Vrajvasis, right? So what he is experiencing, what he's seeing is basically the Vrajvasis are with Krishna. Krishna is present amongst them. That is the vision that Uddhav is having. That's why he's seeing the joyful mood. Okay. And when he is about to greet Nand Maharaj, then what happens? That vision of Krishna present with the Vrajvasis is disappeared. And the form of the Vrajvasis, which are separated from Krishna, because Krishna is actually in Dwarka. Okay. So they are feeling that separation. So that form of separation is seen by Uddhava. So till the next morning, Uddhava is seeing that form of separation of Vrajvasis from Krishna. And then again in the morning time, when he's waking up, he's seeing a joyful mood. So again, Krishna is making him show the joyful mood of Vrindavan, which means that Krishna is present with the Vrajvasis. And so Uddhava is he's seeing another form of the Vrajvasis. So technically, basically it means that Uddhava is seeing two forms of the Vrajvasis. One form which is present with Krishna and another form which is absent from Krishna or Krishna. So in between he's seeing separation. In the beginning, at the end, he's seeing union. Okay. And then again, when Uddhava goes and he greets the gopis, then again he's seeing the separated form of Krishna. So this is a special Yogamaya potency arrangement. Depending on Krishna's desire, Uddhava is seeing different things simultaneously. But these are the two forms of Vrajvasis and Vrindavan, which by the potency of Yogamaya, Krishna is manifesting. Okay. So so basically what it means, the first form which is present with Krishna, which Uddhava is seeing, so Uddhava is seeing the aprakat form of Krishna in Vrindavan. And aprakat form means only the Vrajvasis, because of their deep love, because of the prem with the Lord, they can see Krishna, only they can perceive Krishna, only they can have exchange with Krishna, because Krishna is present only for them. He is not present for any, not even Uddhava at that particular time. So Krishna is not manifested for someone who is not in Vrajbhav. And that's why Uddhava is seeing the aprakat form of Krishna, which is having union with the Vrajvasis. Only the Vrajvasis can see. Okay. And the second form of Vrajvasis, which Uddhav is seeing, is that form which they are experiencing separation from Krishna, present that time with them in his aprakat form. Okay. So so there are. So I hope that you are able to follow about the prakat and aprakat. So see, basically there are, as I said earlier, that Krishna enters Vraj twice. The first time he enters Vraj, according to Goswami, who quoted in the Laghu Bhagavatamrit, he is entering and Krishna, like, I did mention this earlier, that when Krishna leaves Vrindavan and he goes to Mathura, he stays there for 3 months, and Rupa Goswami says that he is returning after 3 months to Vrindavan. But that returning of Krishna to Vrindavan after 3 months is in the form of aprakat form. It's in the aprakat form. It is not in the prakat form, which means that if any conditioned sadhaka was present, he could not have seen Krishna going from Dwarka, Mathura to Vrindavan. But the Vrajvasis, they can see this because Krishna is revealing himself only to the Vrajvasis. Okay, so he is present only for the Vrajvasis that time, and that's how Krishna returned the first time in his aprakat form. But in the second time, the second time Krishna returned in his prakat form, which means that when Krishna is going to Mathura, so now Krishna is in Dwarka, now going to Mathura, and he's challenging Dantavakra. He killed at the border of Mathura, the gate of Mathura. And then Krishna in his prakat form, which means that the demon is seeing that Krishna came to Mathura, and then any sadhaka or any person can also see that Krishna actually is going from Mathura to Vrindavan. And that's how he entered in the prakat form. Okay, so second time Krishna entered in the prakat form, and the first time Krishna appeared in the aprakat form. So this is actually the Tattva, and this is the concept of how Krishna is reciprocating with his devotees. There is one very important thing to mention. Krishna is always present with the Vrajvasis. Krishna never leaves Vrindavan. He's always present in the aprakat form. Okay, so now the question can be asked that before Krishna came to Vraj, the first time when Krishna came to Vraj in his aprakat form, how did the Vrajvasis felt separation from Krishna? Because as we say that Krishna never leaves Vrindavan, he's always present with the Vrajvasis in their minds and heart. So how did they feel separation before Krishna appeared in the aprakat form? Okay, so it is mentioned by Acharyas that actually there was a period when they had to face that separation in order to make them experience that state. Okay, so that's why Krishna had disappeared temporarily. But after 3 months, when he went in his aprakat form, and then the Vrajvasis actually could see Krishna face to face, and they could also have loving reciprocation with love. So this is I don't know if this is a to understand, but important concept. Okay, so so now another concept is that even though the Vrajvasis they see Krishna face to face in their aprakat form, in the aprakat form, but they forget about it, and they think that it is a form of a dream, and that's why every day they kind of go into the cycle of separation and then union, cycle of separation, union, like that. This is a cycle that recurs according to Krishna's desire, and he arranges with Yog Maya. Okay. So separation is also there. And so just like Krishna is expanding from one dham to another dham because he is eternally present in Vrindavan. So the form outside of Vrindavan is a different form. We know that. So same with the associates also. In their original form, they are all in Vrindavan, and their expansions, they all go out of Vrindavan. So difference between in Prakat and Aprakat, however, is that in the Prakat Leela, Krishna appears to move through the cycle of ages once, concluding his youth, and then he disappears. Whereas in the Aprakat Leela, Krishna is always an eternal youth, but repeatedly displays all other ages whenever his pastimes call for them. So is this clear, Madhuri? Any doubt, question?
Yes, Prabhuji. So in that 3 months, the even in his aprakat form, he was not present in Vrindavan.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I am happy to understand this concept. Yeah, so in that the Acharyas say that at least for some time, Krishna was not present in his aprakat form. So this
Yeah, but we
aprakat,
also hear. Yeah, but we also know that he won't leave Vrindavan. So how do we?
correct, yeah. So
Hmm.
this is what I'm saying, that see, there is according to the Acharya, they say that this aprakat form of the Lord appeared after some time. Okay, and that means that even though Krishna does not leave Vrindavan, Krishna made an arrangement in such a way that the Vrajvasis were not able to see him, even though he was present in Vrindavan. He was not able to see them. I mean, the Vrajvasis were not able to see him, even though he was present in the aprakat form. So this everything is possible by Krishna's arrangement, and it's all his Leela Shakti and Yogmaya potency. They are arranging all these things so that it can create some kind of flavor in the pastimes. Okay, so this is one concept, and second concept is that, as I said, that even if Krishna is present in the aprakat form with the Vrajvasis, but the Vrajvasis, they forget about it and they think that it's a dream only. So again, they start feeling separation from the Lord, and then again Krishna appears to them. Okay, so see, so these things are uh, that is up to him to decide, and it is probably increasing a lot of mystery in his pastime, uh, flavor in the pastimes. Okay, it makes it very interesting, more and more dynamic also. So and overall, basically at the end, it increases the intensity of the love of the Vrajvasis for him. Okay, so this is the reason.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Okay. So now what happens when the universe is annihilated? Because Prakat Dham means which is seen with the material eyes in Bhoma Dham, right? So what happens to this Dham? Because we say that the Dhams are all eternal and they are all connected with Krishna. So what happens? So Acharya explained that they merge into the Prakat Dhams. So when there is complete devastation at the end of Brahma's life, all these dhams, because they are all non-different from the original dham in the spiritual world, when the universes are annihilated, they all merge back to the original dhams in the spiritual world. Okay, and it's very interesting to know that acharyas also say that only portions of prakat dham tinge with matter. For example, the creations of Vishwakarma, gifts from the demigods, such as the Sudharma assembly house in Dwarka, were returned to their original places in the upper material planets where the demigods reside. Right? So certain gifts were given by the demigods to Krishna when he was present, and because these were tinged with material or it was matter, that's why obviously it cannot go back to the spiritual world. So these materials, they went back to their original places, which is in the abode of the demigods. Okay, and then by of Dham remain in this world, visible to the human eye. Like for example, Krishna's palace that we see in Dwarka also till date. Then the deity of Bhuteshwar Mahadev in Mathura, Nand Maharaj's palace in Gokul. So these are the examples of those relics that remain continue to be visible even till date. So vestiges of this Prakat Leela become objects of worship. One dham. Dham is a dham which literally means the dham that you can see with your material eyes, which you are seeing currently. Even after Krishna's disappearance, even after the dham has covered itself by the Yogmaya potency. So there are certain remnants, like for example, you are seeing the Govardhan Hill in Vrindavan, in Vraj, and you see so many pastime places of them. They are all left by Krishna as his mercy. So now, question can be that if Krishna is, then how are his travels outside Vrindavan, Mathura and Dwarka to be understood? What was the status of those lands Krishna traversed while moving between his dhams or of those places he visited outside the dhams. The second question is lands Krishna traverses when he traveled between Mathura, Dwarka, and Vrindavan, as well as other places he visits, such as Hastinapur, are not part of the material world. They are extensions of Vrindavan, Mathura, Dwarka. So this is stated by Jeev Goswami in his Krishna Sandarbha. Okay. So just like Krishna expands himself, the Dham also expands himself. Wherever Krishna goes, the Dham also expand, and it will assist Krishna as a service to Krishna. So these Dhams such as Mithila are not part of the material world, they are extensions of original Dhams. Like Krishna is pervading, Dhams are also pervading. Okay, so just as the petals of the Dham open and close, like we hear that Navdeep Dham and then Vrindavan Dham, it is like a lotus flower, and there are petals on the lotus flower, and depending on the pastimes of Krishna, these petals will open up and this will close. Okay, in order to facilitate Krishna's movements. So the Dham, being all pervading, serves him with his unlimited resources by expanding beyond its boundaries to include those places Krishna travels to. And another concept is that wherever Krishna goes, he turns that place into a dham, right? So wherever Krishna or his devotees they travel, that place also becomes a dham. So these are some of the unique characteristics of Krishna's loving pastime recitation with his devotees, and how Krishna also returned to Vraj, and the concept of dham also, how dham is connected to the devotees and to Krishna ultimately. They are all connected to each other. So any comment for now? Okay, no question, no comment. Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, you were mentioning about the Dham. So it merges into that spiritual world, right?
Yeah.
So you were mentioning about aprakat form also. So
Yeah, so the aprakat form of the dham basically means the spiritual world, the dham in the spiritual world.
yeah, okay. Prabhuji.
Okay, so with this we can end the class. So thank you all the devotees for joining. And we have the test class on Saturday by His Holiness Bhanu Maharaj, which will be at 3 p.m. IST. Okay, thank you. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Let me just